Hello everyone, I am Professor Nilesh Bhalerao, and today we are going to learn and going to discuss the topic which is called the technical components of e-commerce under the course of e-commerce technology. Learners, in previous lecture we understand what are the basic features and characteristics of e-commerce. In that we see the tools which is specially used by the applicant in e-commerce. Actually, commerce is not accounting or a decision support of any other internally focused function. Commerce is externally focused on those with whom business is done. We also understand inter-organizational email and online directories. And today's session, we understand what are the electronic component of e-commerce. Actually, in the perspective of e-commerce, there are various kind of aspects associated with the technical procedure of e-commerce. So in today's lecture, we first of all understand the diagrammatic procedure about how e-commerce are working with the technical elements to buy or sell any product, which includes a various kind of servers, workstations, and access process to implement a quality safe and secure transaction by the user or access by the user to perform a quality e-commerce procedure. So the above diagram will show you how the e-commerce having their technical activities with their technical components to perform the buying and transactions or selling transaction through the media of internet. In above diagram, we see there are two organizations, organization X, organization Y, are correlated or to perform a transaction with their technical components. In further slides, we understand that each and every concept with their meaning and uses of the technical part in the procedure of e-commerce. So in above diagram, we will see that if you focus on organization X, in a very starting procedure, we required a client or a PC workstation. In next slide, we understand what are their exact uses, what are their element, what are their implementation criteria. First of all, we just have to understand the element associated with this diagram, and further later on, we understand the exact execution of the technical component in e-commerce using the medium of internet. So, uh, client or PC workstation is there. A system user means we are the user who access the server or we access the website which is specially used for e-commerce. The data will be stored in a transaction server. Data continuously update. See the sequential arrows are there. It means they are correlated both in together. We see in a update data database server, there is a router, then a web server where all the database are stored, which contain all the safety activity, bind and selling records, then a delivery of payments, everything which is associated with the user, which actually used to transmit the data from user to a owner or user to a e-commerce website. So same utilization in organization. Why? It means the connectivity of user and the connectivity of the e-commerce website. So we understand in next slide that how each element works in that technical component. So it is not a technical part. We just have to understand what kind of a technical element are used to perform a e-commerce. So we see it one by one. So these are the various technical components of e-commerce. In that we see in a diagram client or a PC workstation, then transaction server, then database server, then database transactions, then router, and the basic internet communication line which is required to perform the e-commerce procedure through internet. So we see it one by one detailing. In a very first element of technical part of e-commerce is client or PC workstation. So what it contained? So a client is an application or a system. It means a procedure which is specially used for client are associated with the system. which access a remote service on another system. It means all the client which are associated with the same server are having another computer system to access the data or the service all over the world, not only in a single destination. It is also known as a server by way of network. तो ये बात हमें समझ में आएगी कि it is connected with number of computer which are associated with the networks. A workstation is a high-end microcomputer. It means a computer which is having higher ability than a normal computer, which contains high storage, high speed, high activity, high feedback and high response, are specially used to perform a workstation. And special design for technical application. As per the requirement of the e-commerce procedure, the design for the technical equipment are performed with this workstation for clients. So to the next one, we understand the transaction server. What is transaction server? It is nothing but a quality software. Nowadays there are n number of softwares which are available. But today we just have to understand the concept. What does it mean? So transaction server is a software which specially used in implementing transaction. Transaction is the core part of e-commerce area where a buyer or a seller have a quality mindset or a quality procedure to give their personal information to purchase any product or to sell any product. So transaction involves multiple steps which must be completed automatically. In upcoming video modules, we understand a direct video that how you can purchase any e-commerce product through a e-commerce website, which involves some of the steps like if you purchase any product through e-commerce website, we have to add that product into a cart procedure. Then you have to finalize the quantity. If you require more than 2 to 3 quantities for a single product, so you can increase the quantity. After that, as per the product price, the total quantity will show you the final cost amount. So these are the steps. Finally, the e-commerce website asks you the payment of delivery mode, where you want to directly uh, pay the amount of your product through internet, debit card, credit card, or internet banking, or you pay after a delivery, which is called as a cash on delivery method. With all these things are happen automatically in transaction server. So it is very important in the technical component transaction server, which helps you to perform a quality transaction from user to e-commerce website, which provides safe and secure service. Obviously every user wants a safety and security for purchasing quality products. A great example, there are n number of third party payment gateways or third party transaction servers, but I will give you a very quality example which everybody use nowadays to start a simple e-commerce business, also called instamojo.com, a famous website. You can search it on Google and you will understand that how you can utilize in a very safety way to perform all the transaction of your company to selling goods. So it is nothing but a software or online software which helps to implement the transaction. So it is all about transaction server. The next one is database server. So obviously everybody know the word data, that data is very important. All the history, all the procedure of user who perform on a e-commerce website will store in this database server. A database server is a computer program that provides database services to other computer. Obviously, if you purchase anything from a computer, from your mobile, you purchase a mobile phone from Amazon website, and you fill up all the entries with your name, number, address. So all this database will created in database server, and automatically it will show you the product line with their payment gateway. So how it can perform? The server or the database server procedure perform under the model. It is an internet model called client server model. So it obviously every consumer or every customer treated as a client of their company, because he or she purchased something from your website. So it construct under the model of client and server. The great example, but it is related to a software industry, which is called structural query language, nowadays famous language in the world of database management system, to perform such kind of activities sequentially. So it is nothing but database server. Database transaction is the next one component of technical aspects of e-commerce, which contain various procedure and various database operation. It is a logical unit of database operation. Obviously, a database is nothing but logical performance in e-commerce. Sequentially updating the database, obviously database is very important. Anytime we require the history of our transaction or purchase of our transaction, so it updates sequentially in the database transaction procedure. Data stores for steps which must be completed automatically. So obviously database contain what kind of activity you perform on the e-commerce websites are automatically stored or completed with the database transaction. Keep database from system failure. It will secure the data, original data, if the transaction or if the system get failed through some of the disturbance like internet disconnectivity or server disconnectivity. So it include in a database transaction to provide accurate outcomes for transaction. Obviously, to give a final receipt to a consumer or a customer while purchasing any goods from the e-commerce website. If you want to purchase anything from e-commerce website and you put up any amount or transaction to that e-commerce website, so you provide accurate outcomes for the transaction. So it is all about database transaction. Then router, so it's a technical device. Router is the part, as we see in the diagram. There is with all the two organization X and Y. We see that router is compulsory use. So what is a router? It is a device that interconnects two or more computer networks and selectively interchanges the packet data. So it's a technical part. We don't want to enter in a deep level of this technical aspect, but only we have to understand the component activity, that the data or the internet data will be transferred in the form of packets and it will connect it to various kind of a network. So router is the physical device which specially used to interconnect such a kind of a device which are in networks to selectively provide the data. So it maximally used in the server line of the e-commerce website. If you just open some server websites for Amazon and Flipkart, you will understand that how router plays the important role. So it is all about the router. And last but not the least, which is very important in the world of internet, the communication. It means a communication lines means the connectivity lines. As we see in the diagram, there are two organizations uh, perform the connectivity of the e-commerce procedure. There is a middle word called internet. So internet communication lines are very important. Communication line makes internet connection. These lines are very important to connectivity. If the communication line are breaks or get disturbed, communication cannot take place without these lines. So it is all about the electronic and e-commerce procedure components. So today we will understand the technical components. Now we just revise this diagram. We will understand how they can connect it. Organization X and Y, that how they work. So starting with the workstation, the customer will connect it with the workstation or a server mode, then access the e-commerce website. Then if he or she feels to buy something, he purchase an order which is going to transaction server, which update the data. Then finally our data or our information stored in database services, and finally we do the transaction. The transaction history will be again connected with the database transaction. So in a such way these conditions are to be take place, and all these data are stored with web server, and the data transmission of the e-commerce will distributively divided or packetly divided through router, which is again dually connected with the internet. So it is all about technical component of e-commerce. In next video module we will see the next element of e-commerce technology. Thank you so much.